Hello, everyone, and welcome to Legend of the Stoned Owl. My name is Chris.
I'm Justin.
And it's just the two of us this week. Alan is out doing something actually kind of cool, sounds like, right?
Yeah, he's diving in Honduras this week.
Is he? Now, okay. Did you know he was a big diving guy?
I knew that he's done it before. He's been to Maui and Hawaii a couple times.
Okay.
In Hawaii, and
He's doing the whole tank thing and everything, like the breather and
yeah,
like you can't come up too fast kind of a thing?
yeah, he got certified for 120 feet right before he left.
That's deep.
Yeah. I guess this place in Honduras is one of the few places in that area that has a decompression chamber there. So yeah, if he catches any sort of the bends, he can.
Wow. Yeah, that's not scary.
Yeah, he's excited though.
All right. So he'll be back next episode, which also means up front, I should say, in the video version, it's going to lack kind of that extra punch because Alan is the editor for Legend of the Stoned Owl, and he has a style that I will attempt to emulate, but I will fall short of in doing so. So this video version will not be up to our normal standards, though I will give it my best. All right? So I think we'll say with that, let's jump into the gaming news. And welcome to the Legend of the Stoned Owl news segment. Now, this segment isn't so much about trying to just break the absolute latest news in gaming. We realize a twice-a-month podcast is not where you're going to go to get the absolute late-breaking news. What we try to do is pick from the news in the last 2 weeks that we've liked quite a bit, and then just kind of give some commentary and insight into the news segments. So while, yes, we cover them as news stories, then we kind of go from there and discuss them a little more. And we thought a good fit for this episode would be to kick off with a couple of the different Xbox 360 stories that have been going on and just kind of condense it into one general 360 discussion news segment of our own news segment. So let's talk about that. First up, we've got a couple of, I think they're confirmed now. I don't think they're rumored anymore. A lot of the news sites are saying it is a rumor that is still out and they're covering this, but I think it's actually been confirmed by Microsoft that the April update for the Xbox is going to introduce the ability for USB mass storage devices of general support. So like, right now, if you want to use storage on your Xbox, you pretty much got to use the built-in hard drive.
Yeah, they got little tiny memory units in there too, but they're really weak.
Yeah, exactly. So this is going to let you hook up like a thumb drive to your Xbox, any thumb drive, but it has to be Xbox formatted. So it has to be in the 360 format, whatever that's going to be.
So is that going to eliminate it from being able to be used in PCs at the same time?
Right, exactly. They also, I think, regardless of the size, have like some sort of physical like limit that they put. I think it might be 32 gigabytes.
I think it's 16 right there.
Oh, 16 gigs? Okay. So regardless of the size of the drive, like if you put like a 200 gigabyte USB hard drive into it, I think you still get limited to 16.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
so thumb drives would be the way to go.
16 gigs is pretty big.
Yeah, totally. And you can use it to save your game, so you can now bring your thumb drive over to another Xbox 360 and load up your save game.
Yeah, because the biggest card they have out right now is 512
Yeah,
megabytes.
not enough for some of the...
That's big enough for my profile and, a couple arcade games.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, exactly.
All the save data for every game I've ever played in my life.
Yeah, the save data is not very big. Along with all of that, they're going to be introducing new storage management screens in the Xbox interface. So when you're digging around in Xbox, you're not going to have like the ability to look at your overall storage size and which drives have what allocated to them, because you can have multiple, I think it's up to 2 actually, USB devices hooked up plus the Xbox 360 hard drive plus a memory card. So you're talking a lot of different storage options, right? So they've revamped the Xbox interface now to kind of help manage all of that.
All right, this is dropping in April?
I think it's like it's supposed to be around the 6th. Yeah, the 6th of April. So I think that could be pretty good. I don't know. I think it's a decent update for sure. I don't like some of the limitations about it, but that all kind of coincides with a rumor of a new slimmer Xbox. Do you follow these very often when you see these stories come up?
I'm interested that they're doing something, but I'm not really concerned about the size of the Xbox right now.
Right. Although, I think one thing that's good about smaller is usually smaller means less heat.
See, this is what I was going to ask you, too, that Jash's Seed says is the...
in the chat room.
Yeah, being able to install your games to the hard drive like you can now.
Yeah.
If you can do that to the thumbsticks.
I think so. I think you're going to be able to treat it as general storage.
But if you do that, won't that be kind of crazy? it'd be kind of easier for people to start hacking games that way.
Why? I mean,
because they can actually put the memory into the computer.
Dude, it's not that hard to take that Xbox hard drive. All it is a laptop hard drive. So they just changed the connector. But if you crack that thing open, you could hook that drive right up to a PC. It's even formatted in a file system the PC can read. So it's like they've already had access to that data for years.
So if I plugged in an Xbox hard drive into my computer, I could see what's on there?
I'm almost positive it'd show up as a drive.
Huh.
I don't know. I might be wrong. I don't know. But I know they've been able to do it, so that's already been an issue. I think it's kind of epic, though. If it works, it could mean, here's a great example. In the studio, we could have a studio Xbox, and you just have the game with your save points on a thumb drive, and you bring the whole thing over here and you show it.
But at the same time, that's not really doing anything differently than the memory cards do right now, because you're just still talking about, little tiny save chunks. Because I'm talking about the bigger whole entire games.
Yeah, but if you can put 16 gigs on a thumb drive, you can get 16 gig thumb drives. And those games, those DVDs are only 4 to 7 gigs.
Well, will it work like that too? Because that's what I've always been wondering about.
Is I think you can save. You know how you can do game saves to the hard drive now?
Yeah.
I think you're going to be able to do game saves to the thumb drive.
I hope so.
Wouldn't that be cool for portability?
It would be nice.
Yeah.
It would be really nice.
So that's an interesting... And now you combine it with this rumor of the smaller unit. What smaller means, to me, generally less power, less heat.
I just want to get rid of the power brick.
The power brick could be smaller, and the fans could be quieter. This unit, shows this. Well, you see these. You see this massive. If you look in the video version, this thing has a massive fan on it, right? You naturally think that's going to be really loud, but because the fins are so effing big, they move more air, so they can spin slower, so they're actually quieter. So I mean, that's going to be kind of a quiet CPU fan right there. So this thing could be kind of a quiet box. You combine that, with these thumb drives. You could have your games on thumb drives, so you don't have the noise of the spinning CD-ROM. You could have a really nice, quiet Xbox you can just have in your bedroom or whatever. That could be sweet.
So that would be nice for it to be quieter, but yeah. I don't know. When I'm playing games, I'm generally not doing it quietly. So
no, but if you use like I almost use my Xbox more for media playback.
Yeah, that's you.
Yeah, I know, but you use it for that too.
Every once in a while.
I'm just saying, if you could. I'm not saying you replace the current unit. But if you're saying if you're going to buy another 360 down the road, wouldn't you rather buy this one?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, okay. This looks like it's probably going to be pretty true. There's been some bogus stuff going around. Like there was some claims that they think they found Intel chips on this. Totally crap. I don't know where that came from, but one of these sites really has it hooked up. I'll find if I can find a link. I'll put it in the show notes. This guy went through and identified nearly every chip on this motherboard. They got some wild stuff. They even have a chip on that thing. It's actually the dorkiest looking, most old low tech thing on here. It's this little. I don't know if it'll show up. Okay, yeah, it does. Right above where my mouse pointer is, and this little chip here just senses orientation.
What's that mean?
So if the Xbox is on its side or standing vertically.
Huh.
I didn't even know they used that data, but apparently that's data that they need for the Xbox.
They send that to like Microsoft headquarters?
No, well they could. I'm sure they could pull all that information, but no, I think what it's used is to vary the speed of the drive. If the machine's laying flat and the CD-ROM drive is flat, then I think it spins faster. Is my guess. Anyways, I think it's an interesting update. And also this one has the standard Xbox interface connector, but then also has built-in HDMI and a couple other things, has both.
And back to the, I'm sorry, about the hard drive deal is Sony and the PlayStations, you can already put in 250 gigabyte hard drives.
And it's any drive.
And it doesn't void the warranty.
It slides right out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is sweet.
I know. I've always been an Xbox person.
But you got to appreciate that.
But after I finally got a PS3 and started looking into the menus and everything, is from my server upstairs, I can start transferring movies onto my hard drive.
Yeah.
And I can have them off of my PlayStation, which is, I think, crazy that it does that in the first place.
That is sweet. You'd almost think they wouldn't be able to, but I guess because the videos on your server aren't copy protected, it can.
It's great.
Yeah.
All the music and everything. The one thing I don't like about it, though, is I'm really into listening to my own music while I'm playing games. Right. And PlayStation doesn't let you do that like Xbox does. They got certain games where they will let you.
Well, you load up like the local Xbox with your MP3s, right? Or it lets you play them over the network too, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
While you're gaming.
Yeah,
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, because you play games like I play a lot of football
Yeah.
and skating games and stuff, and their music gets old. And some games there is no music,
Right.
like sports games. So
Super repetitive or whatever.
yeah, so I listen to my own music, but PlayStation won't let me do that.
We should make it a show topic because I was going to have a conversation with you about like rituals and habits when we game. Like, do you have to have certain lights on? Do you have your own music? Do you not like to sit down unless you got a beverage? We got to talk about. We got to make it a separate segment though, because we got to move on to the news. But I think maybe when Alan gets back, that should be next episode. What do you think? Because I think we probably have some. I'm sure we probably have some that we all know or probably all do, but then we probably have a couple that like a lot of people don't know about, and that could be interesting.
Yeah, I got some weird ones, dude.
Yeah, so we should do that next episode, and let's get Alan in on it because we got a full episode this week, but I think that's what we should plan for next one. All right. So moving on, so there's been this controversy from the folks that make BioShock. You probably heard of them before, 2K. And their whole deal sort of circulates around downloadable content, which is something we've talked a lot about on this show because it's kind of an up-and-coming way to get your, new media. I mean, it's how everything's going to be distributed soon.
I don't like it as far as movies and going on the Xbox, but if I can buy a game off an Xbox and have it on my hard drive, I'll do that 10 times out of 10.
Yeah, and that's why if I can get like with even PC gaming, if I can do it in Steam, I'll do it in Steam, or if I'll download it on the 360, I will. So this is regarding downloadable additional content for BioShock. The accusation is downloadable content that you can purchase for stuff that already is on the DVD. Do you know about this?
I know it's all kind of accusations right now and everything, but if this is what everybody's saying it is, it's total garbage.
What do you think, dude? Have you seen what the content is that they let you download? I'm amazed that we're talking about week 3 of this game being out, and we're already looking at downloadable content updates. I mean, it seems like a little soon to be already pumping for money.
See, I'm always one of those people that gets all excited about downloadable content, but
I'm totally on board with that. No, don't get me wrong. It's okay. The game was $60. The game was $60, and it's like when somebody dies and then everybody at the office goes through their desk and then goes and gets like all the little things that they want and takes it to their desk. It's like the scavengers just come in, and I'm just looking at this going, dude, you just got me for 60 bones. You just got me for 60 bones, and now you want me to download something for $5-10?
No, I think it's rotten.
But no, 6 months down the road, I'm not going to feel like that. I'm going to be like, yeah, okay, I'm ready for some updates. Sure.
Yeah, Grand Theft Auto took its sweet time, but those updates, the content was gigantic.
Yeah.
That was a worthwhile downloadable content.
Yeah.
There isn't many more that I've really gotten to agree with it. I haven't really seen great DLC yet. Right.
It's coming though. I think they're going to have to make it really great. So I think it's going to start happening. An example is there's been some really great downloadable content for Portal. They've added new missions to Portal. They've added now all this new kind of like viral marketing stuff, but also kind of enhances the gameplay. I mean, I think that's some examples of some actually decent downloadable content that added to the game.
Gearbox, the people that made Borderlands. So far, every single piece of their DLC has been what everybody griped about being missing from the initial game.
Oh, right. I've heard about this. Now, were you a fan of the initial Borderlands?
Yeah.
Okay.
Loved it.
I thought it was great, too. Now, tell me about the controversy.
Well, there's not necessarily a controversy. It's just they actually listened to fans, and in the first update, maybe the first update, there really wasn't a whole lot. It was just more kind of story stuff. But as the updates came out, then people said, we want a place to store weapons so we don't have to sell them all.
Yeah, right.
And so they gave them a place to store weapons, and people said, we want...
Now, was this free?
No.
Okay.
No, because they on top of that, they didn't just say, here's a storage unit. They said, here's a gigantic chunk of land to play.
Okay.
And new missions with a storage unit.
Okay.
And they just added, the stuff people wanted.
I think it's a fine line that you don't make it something that's downloadable content that makes it so that if you buy it, you're significantly better than other players. Like, I think when you start doing that, like if I can buy like a gun that nobody else can have unless they buy it, I don't think that's cool.
No, I don't like that either. I think that's ridiculous.
But isn't that kind of what they're doing with Borderlands? If some people have an inventory slot and then some people don't?
Well, no, it's not necessarily an inventory slot. It's a place to store your weapons
Yes.
where you go to. So it's like, you go to a certain part of the game.
So
and
you're going to have more guns than me.
Not in battle.
Well, you have a wider range of variety. I have to limit myself.
Well,
But-
yeah,
okay.
that's fine though.
All right, that's not so bad.
But at the same time, this game is ridiculous with the way they just,
yeah, and if I have to limit myself, so what? I should just be the better gamer for it, really.
Well, yeah, dude, the loot in this game is unbelievable. Nobody has less than the other person if they've been playing the same amount of time.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous the kind of
Yeah.
weapons that just pop out everywhere.
I totally remember when I first started, I thought, okay, where's all the weapons? How come I have these crappy guns? And then within at least, I don't know, the first 20, 25 minutes, I had my pick of the guns. I really did. It was great. I remember that pretty well from this game. So, and I remember like the whole big thing was how many guns there were in the game.
Yeah, they're just all randomly generated, and it does not end.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. All right. Well, did you have anything else on the news list in the doc, or should we move on? Because I had, I don't know, the thing I think that jumped out at me the most from the last 2 weeks was all the stuff around the Xbox. But I know there was that story about EA and charging to even play demos, and I thought, is this for real? Is this actually happening? And did you want to talk about that?
Well, I think everybody should be on the same page with this one.
Yeah.
If they're willing to knock $15 off the game that you get. So if they,
yeah. Oh, really? Oh,
well, no. I'm not saying that's what they're doing.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure they're doing the exact opposite.
And what kind of prices are we talking for the demos? Like $2?
They're talking $15, $10, something like that.
No.
That's what they says.
No. Go to the story there. Is that really what it is?
Yeah, dude, I'm not lying.
I cannot believe that. That would be ridiculous.
They say it's going to be, sizable content, but unless they let me carry over the save
Oh yeah.
from this the
Right.
demo,
$10 to $15.
and
Huh.
if the $15 came, well, it'd just be a free demo again. Then this is just it's garbage. And
So they're saying much more gameplay, but $10 to $15, and they're talking through PlayStation Network or the Xbox.
yeah, this is a good example of just happened to me. Is I never played Skate 1 or 2 because
Yeah.
it looked weird to me and
Sure.
I didn't trust it right away. And Skate 2 has been out for, I don't know, maybe almost a year. So I got that. I got the demo. I said, maybe I want to play Skate 2. Maybe I want to see what it's all about. And so I went and got a demo of it, a year after the fact of it being out, played it. And then, I was like, oh, dude, I think I can play this. And I went to the store and I bought it. So, having a free demo up there got me to go to the store and buy the game brand new.
Mm-hmm.
I had the demo sold that game to me, and not a lot of demos do that.
But the flip side is how many demos have turned you off from the game. So you saved yourself money, but now if they're making you pay for every demo, you're I don't know. I just do not like where we constantly have to be screwed. I mean, with the prices that they charge, and it's because they're putting so much damn money into this industry. You don't need 15 billion, or what was the last Call of Duty, 15 million to make? It cost them $15 million. And now, but they've made over $1 billion. So whatever, that's fine.
Yes.
Except for the fact that it doesn't take $15 million to make a video game. Something's broken there. When they got there's some game they're working on that's approaching $30 million in budget. No. You know what? Your games aren't that much better than the games that were $5,000 in budget.
Well,
They look better. That's it. They look better.
yeah, it's
Don't you think?
Call of Duty. I could get hot in the face and talk about that disgusting game all
Because
day long.
it looks amazing,
It does. It looks fine, but
But
it's
it's
looked the
not-
same for 2 years and for 2 games.
and it's the same thing,
Yeah, there's nothing that's changed.
except for one of them had Jack Bauer in it. That's awesome.
Yeah, I like that. That was that wasn't even Infinity Ward though. I think that was
Right,
was World at War.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think when I hear this crap, I think it's because they're desperately trying to make up for the fact that they spend too much because they've built themselves up into a bureaucratic industry, and now it's like the same situation the state of Washington is. The local government has spent all of our money, and now they have to raise taxes instead of what they should do is cut back on all of the massive expansion and hiring they had during that period. But instead of reducing in staff, they're just going to up our taxes. Now it's the same situation with EA. Well, we could not spend $15 million making a single video game. Or we could just start charging for demos, and we'll drop 90%, but if that's still 10 million people downloading demos, we're set.
No, this is going a very bad direction, and I'm not looking forward to it.
I totally agree, dude. I totally agree. I do not like it. And maybe I'm putting too much on EA, but I think it sets a bad trend. I think it's irresponsible for the entire industry, and I think it craps all over what they rely on to make millions of dollars.
I know. They're taking advantage of us. They're trying to.
They're taking advantage. It's the same crap. It's like when the music industry sued the people that are downloading music. It's like the people that are downloading your music are trying to get it in some sort of form that they can reasonably pay for because they are so desperate to have your music that they'll cross that moral line. So that means they are probably your biggest fan and you're suing them. Now it's like EA, you're coming to the people that line your pockets, that buy your games, that do your own viral marketing, that make these podcasts, and you're saying, you know what, you're not enough, you need to give more, and we're not reducing the price of the game.
And there wasn't a time in my life where I feared that the gaming industry might need like a revolutionary type of person to stop this crazy shit from happening, because this is...
Flip side is hopefully people don't do this. Like hopefully like Activision, okay, let's take a look at this. Let's just say EA goes out and does this, right? It doesn't necessarily mean the other publishers and distributors are going to do this. And so it's possible that people aren't just going to download, people are just going to be like, F that, I'm not going to download this EA game. And then maybe their sales will drop. I guess maybe this will finally put a test. Do demos sell games or not? Maybe this will finally test that theory. And if we see the sales drops, we know it did. If we don't. Now, if they're coming to me and they're saying, you know what, it's 40% of the game. Well, all right. Maybe.
Yeah.
There's a chance I'm only going to play 20% anyways.
I know. Well, that's
Yeah, it's not a demo. It's not a demo at that point. It's a mini. They should call it Call of Duty 5 Mini or something. It's not a demo. That's what Herder in the chat room is saying. It's totally not a demo. But
what do you mean by that?
Well, if you're paying for it, it's not a demo. You're owning it. If you pay for it, you own it. That's not demoing it. That's buying it. So you can't call it demo anymore. At that point, you just have to call it preview maybe or something. I don't know. Well, anyways. It's stupid anyways.
It's taken a crazy business type of turn, and
I agree.
It's going to start suffering pretty soon. Dude, a good example of this is Madden. I've been buying Madden since 96.
Right.
And probably about 50% of the time I've bought it, I've been very upset with it. And I go back to it every year just because there is nothing else. Because the NFL's they got the exclusivity rights on it, so nobody else can put out an NFL game but EA. And that's the game I play. It's a game I love, and I go back to it every single year. And they don't change anything.
They don't have to.
No, they don't even care. And it's been driving me and everybody who plays it.
But they got you. They got you right where they want you. So what do they care?
Yeah,
because they're not doing it for the fun of doing it anymore.
No, they're doing it just to put it out. And, you only give yourself, a year to develop a game. I mean, it's hard to come up with new stuff. I understand
Herder's
that.
Herder in the chat room is totally on board with you. He says, it was cheap download with updated graphics, and EA's example would be to release something similar and then release more content for it later on. And I totally agree. What he's saying is, it's one thing if it's a cheap download to begin with. And then you can supplement it with content here and there as you go. Like if you're a developer and you can publish something through the arcade. That's one thing. If your game cost me $5.99 and I got to maybe buy, maybe even 3 months. Say 3 months down the road I got to buy something for $3.99. But it's like a ton more maps and stuff. I'm cool with that.
It always depends on the type of game it is too.
Yeah, but example. But like he's saying, with EA, with them, they'd basically they'd take Madden. They're gonna take Madden 010 and cross out and put 11 on there, and they're just gonna ship it, and then maybe they'll sell you some more content too. And that really sucks. It's totally. I'm following what you're saying.
Yeah,
I agree, dude.
Yeah, it's not what I've been liking at all. It's been making me very angry. And like the Jash's Seed said in the room here. That episodic content, that's great. I love that.
Yeah, it's a great way to support certain developments. I know Herder in there is in the chat room, and he was into PAX, and that's put on by Penny Arcade guys who put out this game, which comes in 3 chapters. It's all the content in each chapter, but it's kind of a cool way to do it.
I like it.
Yeah. All right, dude. Well, that's one hell of a news segment. Should we move on? Because we got to talk about some God of War.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. So we've been talking a lot, well, not a lot, but a couple of times about God of War 3 on this show because it's one of those shows that we've really kind of put up there. The whole God of War franchise has some of the best story in gaming. And you just got done playing it, right, recently, and you want to talk about it a little bit. So why don't you go ahead and share your thoughts with us on where you're at with God of War 3. What'd you think?
Well,
was it what you wanted?
After playing this game, I do wish I could change my top 5 again because this...
You would alter your whole top 5 list?
Yeah, this one might even make it
Wow.
a number 1.
What?
It might. It was... I don't know. It was better than any God of War. It was better than any game I've played in years.
Are you kidding me?
No, this game was ridiculous.
Okay, all right. So why? What makes this game? What makes this game rate so high on your list?
It's the best looking game I've ever seen.
Okay,
hands down.
but that's only a component, right?
Oh yeah, it's only a piece of it. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's because they got me into the story so well with the first two.
So total immersions.
Yeah.
So you're already set up, and you're already riveted by the storyline. So
And
you're
this-
kind of primed for it.
Yeah, this was the conclusion of the entire, or not the entire franchise, but this series.
All right.
So I don't know where it's going after this.
So they might just be done.
They say the franchise is going to go on, but this story is over.
Oh, okay. So you could have the opportunity then for a whole new set of story from a whole other character standpoint, but
That
potentially
scares me.
just as deep though.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course there's potentially, but I don't know. After playing this, I don't know what even comes close to comparing to it.
Wow, I'm amazed. I mean, you rate it so high.
It was ridiculous.
So this would be on your must-play of all-time games. Like you want this to this is like if someone says I got to get a PlayStation, what game should I get?
It's God of War. It's the only reason why I got the PlayStation.
Wow.
I've been trying to find other PS3 games to fit in there, but none just hold my interest.
Really?
I played Uncharted 1 and 2, and everybody went gaga over that, but that just didn't do it for me. This game did.
It does look amazing. I mean, we're looking at the
This isn't necessarily gameplay footage,
Some
but
of it
it's from
is.
the in-game engine.
well, no, some of that is. There was a scene earlier I think that you mentioned was in-game footage, like when they're up by some rocks.
Oh, dude, it's one of those games too where you don't have control of, you don't have a 3D camera control like you do in most third
It
persons.
manages the camera for you,
Yeah, and
and
there's
does
still
as well. I've heard.
it does unbelievable.
Yeah.
Because you're climbing up. The very beginning of the game starts with you on a Titan's back, crawling up Mount
Wow.
Olympus.
That's kind of a
And if-
epic.
Yeah,
start.
and the camera shows you other Titans climbing up the mountain.
Cool.
And these things are huge,
Cool.
and they're really, really, really crisp looking. Everything's nice. And
That's really nice.
yeah. The game just starts off insanely too. I don't.
So this is the same engine, I believe, that's been in God of War 1 and 2, which I think might also kind of explain probably why the camera is so mature. Because they've had a lot of time to just work it out. And I think that kind of stuff, they've been able to make the graphics look so sharp, still look this generation. They were really in a sweet spot for this game. Like, from a technology standpoint, the whole platform was there and ready to go. They just had to knock it out of the park with they didn't have to worry about how to make the game run. They already had all that figured out, and they had it figured out good.
Yeah, the combat hasn't changed, and that's a good thing. But they did act. This is the first God of War where I wanted to use other weapons more than the initial blades that you get, because you get the standard blades that are tied to your wrist. Those right there, the
Yeah.
cestus.
Yeah.
Those you get them. I don't know, halfway through the game or so, but they are just devastating. I felt like I was cheating sometimes using them.
Really?
Yeah. Everything came pretty easy.
They look pretty rad. Now, when you go away from this, what kind of time span are you going to need before you're picking this game up again and you're playing it? Like, what kind of replay factor does this game have? Something that rates this high should have in my opinion, extremely high replay value.
Yeah, it does. It has unlockable stuff where you get new skins for Kratos. You can have they give you different boots, but they disable all the trophies you get, like the achievements. It disables all of that stuff, but you get better strength. And I'm going to try to play it in the hard mode. I've never beat it in the hard mode,
Oh, okay.
so this is probably going to be the one that
I got to be honest with you, I never play in hard mode anymore. I never do it anymore. It's
Yeah.
just I want to have fun when I'm playing.
Yeah, but this game, I don't know. I want to see what they give you for beating it.
Oh, sure.
And this is it. I do like the some kind of challenges, but I know that it took me a long time at the end for some of these the battles.
Yeah.
It took me a while.
You can only imagine then.
Yeah. I couldn't. I played hard mode one time, and I couldn't even get to the first checkpoint. So,
Nice, dude.
but yeah, this game, the story was great. The graphics were great. Everything was.
The shot we're looking at now, if people are watching the video version, this is an in-game shot.
Yeah, it totally is.
So, and that looks pretty sharp. That looks really sharp, I gotta say.
Yeah, it's just it starts off as fast as it could have.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it really, really hit the ground running on it.
Huh. All right, man. So, any other last thoughts on God of War before we?
Got to go out and get it.
You got it. It's a must get.
Yeah, and if you haven't played the first two, they sell it in a little collection pack that they cleaned it all up in HD.
I bet we could. Oh, right, where they went back and touched up the graphics files so they look nice on the PS3. That's a great way to do it. I love that.
You should put that on the Amazon.
I'll link it up in the show notes, and if you want to pick that up, you can help support the network by buying it from the link in our show notes for the God of War series. Right? All right, dude. Well, let's move on. We've got kind of a Nintendo discussion that we want to start and maybe kick off to the rest of you out in the audience. Why don't we move in to, well, what should be the review segment, to be honest with you, but we're going to call it the discussion segment. Now, this is going to be a little different. Normally, we'd have the review of a game here, but there's been something that's been brewing behind the scenes here at Legend of the Stoned Owl, and that is, we kind of are all around the same common age, and so we wanted to bring in our buddy. Now, that squawking you hear in the background for whatever reason, probably the crazies, is Brian. He's joining us via Skype, via his phone.
That's me, everybody.
Hey, buddy.
How you doing?
I don't know if I'm picking up the live stream a little bit through your mic, or maybe it's just some weird Skype playback thing.
It's hard to tell.
So Justin and I wanted to bring you in here because we wanted to talk about sort of, in my view, it starts with the dethroning of Nintendo, in a way of not financially, but just as a downfall. I mean, when I think back to the childhood, everybody was talking about Nintendo. It seemed like Super Mario and Donkey Kong and some of those games were really pretty revolutionary for what the home could do. And now when I think of Nintendo, I think of cheap, gimmicky. Not trying to set the bar at all.
No third-party quality.
Yeah, no third-party titles are of any value, which is not where Nintendo was more than a few years ago. Now, Brian, I know you mentioned something interesting in the chat room. You said, that's essentially what they were even back when we were kids.
Yeah, so just to paraphrase, you're saying that in the 1980s, Nintendo was the most revolutionary piece of technological gaming.
I think it was when the SNES came out. It felt like a big deal. I'm not saying it was the most modern though.
Are we talking SNES or NES?
I think it started with the NES and they sort of knocked it out of the park with SNES, but not as. I'm not saying like it had the best graphics, but what I'm saying is like. It was like that was the coolest titles that were coming out. It seemed like back. I'm just saying like.
Why was it the coolest titles?
I don't know. That's just what sticks out.
It was marketing and what people were buying.
I agree.
Nowadays, what are people buying? Nintendo DSs and Nintendo Wiis.
But not as well. That's true. But I mean, 360 is posing such more of a threat than the consoles back then did.
And it doesn't help too that the PSP is a total bust in every aspect.
Yeah. The DS they can't quit, can they?
Yeah.
See, this is where you guys are forgetting a critical piece of your video game history.
All right,
here.
tell me what it is, because it sounds like we got it nailed right now.
There was a multitude of video game consoles that back in the 80s through the early 90s posed significant threats to the NES, both in terms of market share and mind dominance. If you start flashing forward, especially to the 16-bit era, the Sega Genesis was like the favored child of the video game press. The Genesis was huge. That thing. Yeah. The SNES outsold it many times over, but it posed significant threats, and Nintendo was scared poopyless about it.
Yeah.
So that's critical. Over those years, especially those early years, the Atari 2600, as weird as it sounds, even in the Commodore 64, was creaming the early NES.
Yeah.
NES actually wasn't the victor for quite some time.
So.
Yeah, but we're kind of talking about what it's turned into now rather than what it was.
I mean, so that's what I'm saying is back then, I think back then they had credible, like, the alternatives were credible, but but some of them got creamed. Like sometimes Nintendo got creamed. That's what I'm saying. But now it's like I think they're like the most inferior products on the market, and they're still out cashing everyone.
And
You mean like the Game Boy?
Yeah. Well, the Game Boy was rad, but
No. The Game Boy was significantly behind the time.
Yeah.
You had Game Gear from Sega.
I love
The
my Game
beautiful
Gear.
full color screen and awesome. You could play Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh.
Or you get into the lesser known consoles, such as the Atari Lynx, which was amazing.
Yeah.
Or the TurboGrafx Express, which is a portable handheld version of the TurboGrafx 16, better known as the PC Engine in Japan, which was a big deal in Japan. Didn't quite make as big of a splash here.
do you remember the on the Game Gear you could get the TV adapter and you could watch live TV because they had a cool color screen.
You want to freak out a little bit?
All right, I like freaking out.
I have one within arm's reach right now.
My story with my Game Gear was I lived up in the sticks, and our place got broken into, and they went through my whole room, and I got home. I was like, oh no. I ran to my bedroom. I got there, and there was the Game Gear, and they opened up the Game Gear box. They took the $20 I had in there, but they left the Game Gear.
Well, good for you.
Yeah, I know. That's sweet. Oh. Anyways, Brian, I think
So
you were in the
that's-
middle of something.
So that's that. So realistically, the Wii and the DS really are no different than what we saw back in those days.
I know, but it seems like they do better now.
Well, at the same time,
Well, they've
I
always
mean,
done great.
you're probably one of the few people that remember all those systems from the 80s. And do you think in 25 years you're going to forget about an Xbox, that they're going to be gone? They're probably still going to be here.
Oh, yeah.
All those other companies just died.
Yeah.
No, hold on. When we're talking about Xbox, you guys mean Xbox 360.
The
Sure.
Xbox was a good system too.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
this is serious. Now, do you have
Hello?
your Xbox hooked up to your primary TV right now? Do you talk about it on a daily basis? Your original Xbox?
I have original Xbox
No.
games that I've downloaded onto my hard drive.
But I
from
have
the,
one.
On your 360.
Yeah.
But I have an Xbox, the original Xbox. It's just not hooked up.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, though, that was only a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Flash forward 10, 15 years.
Yeah, but
that the average person is going to be around discussing.
But you can't deny that the difference is those games you could only load the cartridge in that console.
Yeah, but we're not saying too that we're not trashing on the NES. We're trashing on the Wii right now. So
I think Brian's point is that we should be, if we're trashing on the Wii, we should be trashing on the NES and SNES.
Absolutely,
because they're exactly
guys.
what they were doing back then.
It's no different.
But it seems like
was there even a hardcore gaming audience back then?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
hells yes.
Not as big as it is now.
Not as big
No.
as it is now. That's definitely true. But there was definitely a hardcore gaming core back then.
That was
And
more
those
cult than
people-
core, though, too, right? I mean, it was
And most of the hardcore people back then was going towards, say, either the Commodore 64, the ColecoVision, the Vectrex, or the Sega Master System. Those were the consoles they gravitated to, just like the hardcore people of today gravitate towards the PS3 and the 360.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's kind of the same setup. It just seems like for me that transition at some point I made that transition to, and I think for me it started. I got a 64 and I got a GameCube, but I only bought a few games for my 64, like some of the really good ones.
Hey, Chris, how old were you at that time?
Oh, I don't know. What year was it?
like 96.
Dude, I can't even tell you how old I am right now. I don't know why you'd ask me that.
This would have been, say, mid-high school for you?
The GameCube would have been, I was out of high school for so 64 probably, yeah, probably.
So you're growing up.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm saying it matches. That's what I'm saying is it matches your pattern.
Me and Justin. And
No, I got it in the cube though.
if you were sitting there, we're the ones that changed. Nintendo didn't.
I got the cube though, and I really dug like Metroid, and I dug the Lord of the Rings game. Did you get the cube? GameCube?
No, I
No,
wouldn't.
you skipped the GameCube. Now why? That's what he's saying.
I
dude.
didn't like the controllers.
You didn't like the games either. You would have put up with the controllers if you really liked a few of the games. You outgrew the console.
At the same time, I've never really been the huge Nintendo guy. I really started when the Sega came out. I had a Nintendo around the house and I played it, but there's no game that I'd go back right now and start playing.
Okay, so you don't have that association with with Nintendo.
No, I've never been. I played the Nintendo when it was around,
So
but
so you're more of you're more excited about more. So if I'm excited about a Mario, you're more excited about a Sonic.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I think it'd be the same for you too, probably, Brian.
Nah, I'm a pretty big Nintendo guy. I mean, my wife worked at Nintendo for quite a long time.
Yeah.
We've even got a Mario and Fox McCloud life-size statue in our dining
But
room.
what have you been talking about more lately? You've been talking way more about the new Sonic 4 than you have the new Mario game.
See, I'm a big Sega guy though. This is just it. I'm a hardcore gamer that grew up in the 80s. So those are the 80s and early 90s icons that instilled with me as a child. Sonic the Hedgehog, Mario, Kid Icarus. And they really need to make a new Kid Icarus.
But you're more excited. But the fact is, you're more excited about Sonic 4 than you are the new Mario.
And they got
true.
horrible new
Sonic.
IP.
I'm more of a Sega guy.
Okay.
I loved my Sega Saturn.
That's all I was saying.
I even have two Sega Nomads, which are portable handhelds that let you play Sega Genesis original cartridges in handheld form, just sitting over here just because I need them so much.
I think, I guess my goal is out of this conversation is I'd like to hear from the lots of listeners out there and viewers. Has this been a transition for you too? Is there, or are you still, I guess, do you outgrow your game, your consoles, or there's some consoles you'll never outgrow, like maybe Sega. Maybe Sega's a console because it was already pretty advanced back then. It was sort of more geared towards a different market. Maybe you never outgrow that. But maybe you're like me and you think, maybe I did outgrow Nintendo. Maybe I'm just not their target anymore. And they were always aiming at a certain thoughts, and I was only in their crosshairs for a certain amount of time. I'd like to know if the listeners and viewers have that same viewpoint. And if you head over to jupitercolony.com, there's a form over there, and you can go in there and leave us your feedback and let us know. Right?
Right.
All right. Well, why don't we, before we sign off, Herder, did you get your Herder's in the chat room today? And he was at PAX over on the East Coast. He just got back, and I think he was having some mic problems. He was thinking about maybe calling in. And Brian, did you want to pretend like you're from PAX?
Oh, I've been at PAX all day.
Yeah, okay. Brian's been at PAX all day.
I've got some big news from PAX.
Did you take your helicopter out there? You're back now in Washington, right?
Yeah, no, I walked.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not bad.
Yeah.
So tell me about it. How was it?
I live in the East.
Oh, okay. East Washington? East Everett?
No, it's PAX East, Chris.
Yeah, I know.
PAX East.
Yeah.
That's where I'm from right now.
Okay, so you're there. And how was it, Brian?
It's good. Are we recording right now?
Yeah.
We are?
Yeah.
So this is the thing.
This is the thing.
Like this is the thing. Like there's no other thing. This is the primary thing then.
Well, no, I mean, we were gonna have somebody on, but his mic's not working. So now
if we're recording it right now, let's do a start over. But keep recording it. You don't have to edit this out or anything.
All right.
Just be like, and now we're going to Brian.
All right, hold on. Let me try that again. Do, 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 do. Wait, I might even have a sound effect. Hold on. Why don't I do a little?
That's red.
Yeah, okay, here we go. Wait for it. And now, Brian from the East Coast will give us a report from PAX 2010 East. Brian, how's it going there on the East Coast?
Was there a sound effect?
Yeah, it was great. You just didn't hear it.
I didn't hear anything.
No, okay.
It was awesome. Well, I'm over here in the East.
Yeah.
And I'm here at PAX today. Wait, hold on. Guys, shut up. Shut up. I'm on the internet. All right, guys.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Thanks, buddy.
It's really loud here on the conference floor. People are freaking out an awful lot.
Yeah.
Because of the big news here at PAX East.
What's the big news, Brian? Could you tell us what the big news is?
Well, that's the amazing part about PAX East, Chris, is people get really excited when there's big breaking news.
Yeah, absolutely. I bet I could imagine that if there was something that was really important that would reflect to the entire industry, maybe something uncovered at a panel or something like that you'd want to share it with us immediately.
That's the big news here at PAX East, Chris. Nothing's really happening. There's not a whole lot of anything right now, Chris.
Oh, all right. Well,
so,
thanks for reporting in, Brian. Really good.
No problem.
Really
I'm
good
just
job.
gonna head back to PAX East. I was at the keynote from Will Wheaton earlier this morning.
Oh yeah, how was that?
Will Wheaton declared that he likes video games.
Oh, good. I was concerned that maybe he had made that clear in his.
People really like it when he says that.
Okay, well, I got a picture of him here, and he looks like he's having a really good time. He's got a thing on, so that's great.
He does have a thing on. He likes video games.
All right, man. Well, thanks for your report.
I'm gonna give you an impression of Will Wheaton now.
Okay. All right. Give me a real quick one here.
Hey, everybody.
So there we go. Now, if you'd like to get a hold of us, you can contact us. We are stonedowl@jupiterbroadcasting.com, I think, is us. Oh, what are you trying to point out to me?
Mr. Herder said he can call in now.
Oh, Herder. Well, okay. I mean, it's kind of the end of the party, dude. We got to wrap up. We're kind of out of time. I'm sorry, dude. If we hadn't gotten that fake report from Brian, we could actually fit the real report in, but we're going too long. We got to wrap it, dude. I'm sorry. All right. We'll make it quick. All right, Herder. All right. You got a few. Go. Herder, your audio's not working, dude. All right. We got to end it there. All right. Well, I hope you're watching this clown. I hope you enjoyed this clown show episode of Legend of the Stone Owl.
You totally answered.
Oh, there it goes. Okay, he's back.
It's 1 freaking a.m. I was even saying in chat that I got it working, and we took that stupid call from him.
Oh, Brian's calling right now.
My revenge will be sweet. No, let's say, PAX Eats is actually pretty badass. They said it sold out 50,000 3-day
wow.
passes at least. So it's been pretty crazy. I will be honest, I kind of flipped the bird to Will Wheaton, did not go to that.
Yeah.
I was in line. Actually, it was pretty badass. I have pictures. I'll send them later. I was in the front of the line due to a snafu to the exhibition hall. So I was the very first person that got video of me walking in, part of all the screaming, all that crap.
Nice. You got to avoid the crowd?
Yeah. Well, no. I was all in the line.
Oh, okay.
All up in the line,
I got you.
out. But what really cool is in waiting in line, I was next to the G-Man. Some dude dressed up as the G-Man, had the briefcase, everything.
Very nice.
He took the suitcase and hollowed it out and put speakers in there, so he was blasting like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and all that kind of crap.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. So, did you get a look at any of the video games that you've been kind of waiting to see? Anything exclusive that you've kind of haven't really seen a lot of stuff online about, or is it all kind of stuff that you've been able to see, but now you're seeing it in person?
All right. Well, I mean, the only thing that was really big in this, I tweeted on this. I see you're not following me. Thank you about that.
Oh, well, I am, but I gotta say it on the show, so that way you tell people.
Yeah, that's true. No. The only thing I thought was really funny is NVIDIA did that whole release of the 480, 470 bullshit, right? The very funny thing is if you go on the floor and you look at the NVIDIA, they have a huge stand, flashy, 3D this, 3D that, goggles, you name it. It already said on the computers that they were running the 4800s. I'm sitting there, I'm 4080s. I'm looking at them like, wait a second, that graphics card's not released yet. And
yeah.
Then I look in the show notes and they said big release. You'll never see it coming. You'll be. They
leaked it. They accidentally leaked it. I just saw on Engadget that they announced the new cards and they're reasonably priced. It's going to be a nice boost for PC gamers.
What are they priced at?
Impressive cards, and I'll tell you what, they're all showing off the Integra and the Ion graphics cards, and I think it's the Integra that goes into like the Zune and whatnot. I'll tell you what, they had a Zune hooked up to a 50-inch plasma Samsung, running 1080p movies, and you couldn't tell it wasn't a Blu-ray.
I know it's pretty impressive.
How big were the files then?
They get pretty big, but
I didn't ask that. I was just watching the video.
I heard we're getting a whine from your computer, so I think we got to wrap the show. Yeah, I think it's your fan. We got to wrap the show anyways because we're going long. But thanks for the impromptu 1 a.m. report, dude.
That's right. Oh boy.
All right, man. Have a good time.
Take it easy.
Later, dude.
All right, and with that, we will wrap this episode of Legend of the Stoned Owl. I want to say thanks to everybody for tuning in and listening, and we'll be back in 2 weeks.
With that.
Later, everybody.
Thanks for listening to Legend of the Stoned Owl. Legend of the Stoned Owl is produced over at JupiterBroadcasting.com. That's where you can find the show, subscribe, all those good things, leave us feedback, and also where you'll find us every 2 weeks. Thanks for listening to this episode. We'll see you in a fortnight.